So now we move ahead and we get to the gold medal match for the ladies. And this will be Russia against Mexico. The last time these two teams met at a World Cup event was in the bronze medal match in Shanghai last fall. Mexico won that meeting 216 to 207. Both teams shooting very well this weekend, and they're right next to each other in the world rankings, so this should be a tight match as Mexico, led by Alejandra Valencia, leads them out here. And you just know the butterflies are churning in their stomachs as they come out and get ready for this. You've been there many, many times before.
I have, and it's an awesome feeling to be able to walk out on this field with your team, representing your country, going for a medal. So, I mean, these are some of the most seasoned archers out there. You can see, well, they're going to introduce the archers, so I'll be able to talk about them as they come up.
All right, Mexico will be on target number 1. Russia is on target number 2. You're looking at Alejandra Valencia on the left. Edo Roman and Mariana Avatia. They jumped on the Georgians earlier this week, got past Poland quite easily, beat Team USA, and they also qualified this week for the Olympic Games in London. As for the Russians, there are 3 archers. Ksenia Perova, the blonde on the right. Ina Stepanova is on the left. And in the middle is Kristina Timofeyeva. They topped the Turks by 5, Belarus by 11, and Germany by 9 to reach this gold medal match.
Ksenia Perova is going to be the veteran on this Russian team, and the girl in the middle for Mexico, that's let's see.
Avatia, I believe.
Mariana Avatia.
Avatia, excuse me.
And she went to the 2008 Olympics as a 14-year-old. So she's only 18 right now, going to her 2nd Olympics. So that's something, that's quite something for Team Mexico to have somebody that experienced, but still at that young age.
And as a 14-year-old, I believe she finished 13th.
Yeah, she was very one of the high finishers on the field of play. So, I mean, a lot of experience, really good competitor, and we're going to see what happens now for the gold medal in the women's team recurve gold medal match.
By the way, we just saw a shot of Albina Loganova, who picked up quite a bit of hardware yesterday in the compound competition. But now, Ina Stepanova of Russia, starting things off, ranked 12th in the world, 21 years old. Setting the table now for Timofeyeva, who's 29 years old. Close to the line. Will they count it as a 9?
Again, if it's close to the line, they're going to call it the lower value with an asterisk on it.
Ksenia Perova, ranked 11th in the world. And they did put the asterisk by the shot by Timofeyeva.
Firme, bien plantada.
And Ida Roman has got kind of a reputation for always having the brightest lips on the field of play. 7 out top.
Kind of a feeling out period right now on these first shots, isn't it?
Yeah, they haven't shot on this field of play, so they're going to be trying to gauge what the wind is doing, which direction it's coming from, how strong is it, and then being able to adjust their shots accordingly.
8.5 a la 5.
Avatia with an 8.
Firme, Ale, firme. Prepara bien tu disparo.
And now Alejandra Valencia, ranked 9th in the world. She won a mixed team bronze medal at the last stage stop in Antalya, Turkey. She shoots an 8, or excuse me, a 9.
No, that was an 8.
Poquito a la derecha.
That's an 8 outright. So Russia is in the lead regardless if their second arrow was an 8 or a 9. Here are with Stepanova.
Stepanova, a World Cup winner last year in Shanghai in September. She beat Valencia along the way to win that victory in Shanghai.
And that's another 8, just high, just out of the gold, about by, I would say, 3 millimeters.
Now Perova.
8 points. Again, about 3 millimeters outside of the gold. Ada Roman for Mexico with a 7. This is very uncharacteristic for Mexico to be to have a score this low at this point of the match. But again, it's still going to be anybody's game. We still have 3 more ends to go. It's just a little bit uncharacteristic for Mexico. Another 7, striking that last arrow that Ada Roman just shot. Best Mexico can do is trail Russia by 3. And Russia will lead unofficially by 4 points after the first end.
50-46, Russia with the lead after Mexico struggles to find that center ring here in the first end. We're in the women's gold medal match, Russia versus Mexico. By the way, the world record, which I don't think we'll get close to today, but I'll mention it nonetheless, 231 points by the Korean team. That was in Beijing back in 2008. But today, under these conditions, I don't see that happening.
It'll be very hard-pressed to do that, and right now both of these teams can't achieve that because 231 points out of 240 means overall 9 points dropped, but the Russians have already dropped 10 points, in which case the world record is safe for another day.
For another day. By now, these 6 archers just worried about trying to win that gold medal. And you can see them looking out on the field of play and trying to figure out which way the wind is blowing, which way it's coming, which way it's going. Of course, Albina Loganova had to deal with that yesterday.
There's one in the center of the screen.
Great compound archer who can sit back and relax today. But she understands, as do you. Obviously, you were competing earlier this week on a completely different field of play. Conditions were completely different, and now for these archers as well, they qualify. Now they move over here to Lindquist Field, and it's a whole new ball game.
It is a whole new ball game. It's again, it's different conditions, different venue, and a different layout of the field because we've got this whole backdrop of stands behind the archers. It's going to be shielding the archers from feeling all of the wind. And that's another 8-9 liner from Ada Roman. So that should be an 8 asterisk unless the spotters have a better view than we do.
So Roman ranked 15th in the world with the first shot here in the second end. Now Avitia.
10 points. There we go. The first one from Team Mexico.
Avitia 8th in the women's recurve at the Olympic Games in Beijing 4 years ago. Now, Valencia, who did medal at stage 3 in Ogden last year and was 5th at the World Cup finals in Istanbul. So Mexico's starting to find the range.
Unfortunately, it looks like Russia found it just a little bit quicker, but see what happens after these next shots. And that's a 9 to start off this end for Russia.
So Ina Stepanova, who's only 21 years old and won her first World Cup in Shanghai last September. Sets up Timofieva.
With an X, that's a dead center arrow, and I mean, that's got to be a little bit of a motivation for Perova to shoot next.
Ms. Timofieva will also be back here center stage in individual competition later on, and there's Perova with a 9. So the Russians with a very strong showing here at stage 3 in Ogden. They attempt to build momentum for London.
9 points. That was a very good-looking shot.
So Ada Roman feeling better about things. As Mariana Avitia lets it fly, and it's an 8.
Compénsate a la izquierda, Ale. Tienes tiempo. Prepara bien tu disparo. Fuerte, firme. Bien, bien, bien. 9 a las 12.
9 points on the line, but definitely in from Valencia, giving them a total of 98 points. Russia only needs 2 10s to tie. 21 will still maintain the lead, which is 7-7-7, but we don't want, okay, I spoke too soon. We don't want to see that, but if that had to be the case, 3 7s will still maintain the lead.
If you don't have a horse in this race and you just want to see an exciting match, be interesting to see the Mexicans come back. I'm sure that is the last thing that the Russian squad wants to see happen. And Timofeyeva with a 9 doing her best.
Anything inside the blue will maintain the lead. And 8.
So both teams with 52 points in this end, and the lead is down to 4 now. Well, it remains at 4. That's where we were at the end of the first 6 arrows, and now midway through the match, it's still a 4-point lead.
It still could change potentially because of the first arrow with the 8 asterisks, but again, official scoring will only tell us if it does change or not.
Coming up after this match, we'll see the men in action, the men's teams, the bronze medal match featuring Great Britain against Italy, and the gold medal match pitting the United States against India. We'll also have the mixed team gold medal match. That'll be Russia against the United States. Then we'll dive into the individual competition and we'll change the scoring system, go to the set system, which is completely different.
It's completely different, sometimes a little bit more exciting to watch because with the cumulative score system, sometimes you can call a match finished after the first couple of arrows, but as we saw in the previous match, a miss from the United States still warrants a win from them, so they're pretty unpredictable. But in the set system, you can still win even having not shot an end, which is a set in that case. You don't want that to happen, but I mean, it's very possible. And right now, we're still going on cumulative score, so every arrow really counts. 8 points, just a little bit high to the right.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Ido Roman with the 8. Now Mariana Avitia,
Bien alineada,
ranked
fuerte,
26th in the world. Was part of the bronze medal team in Shanghai at stage 4 last fall, and she shoots it a little low.
Poquito flojo, hay que apretar bien la espalda, manténla, más seguimiento ahí.
I'm wondering if what the coach said to her affected her, because before while she was stepping up to the line, he was saying in Spanish, quick, quick, quick. So I'm wondering if that kind of made her rush her shot, and that's what happened. So this shows you that a coach necessarily isn't always a good thing. It can be a bad thing. And in this case, I don't know if that's what affected her, but that's what I heard. And it's a very big possibility.
Ina Stepanova taking her time and shooting a 9. As Kristina Timofeyeva, not highly ranked, and she shoots a 6.
Another 6. So I'm wondering what's happening on the field of play right now, because Russia could have taken a very substantial lead over Mexico with that last arrow.
Well, that 6 negates the 1 by Mexico.
9 points from
with a 9.
Recurve, yep. Still maintaining a 5-point lead from Russia.
Al centro.
Again, they probably wanted that a little bit higher, but you get what you shoot.
Yes, muy bien.
Well, if the Mexicans are going to start to come back, they better start right now, and they do with that 10.
So spotters are definitely calling that in. It did look like it was on the line, but there's no asterisk beside it, so definitely further in than we can see.
8 a las
It's
3.
an 8.
Poquito a la derecha, Mariana, muévele un poquito la mira.
And I've seen Avitia shoot much better than that, so
Firme, Ale, bien preparado.
there might be some
Fuerte.
conditions on the field that we're not seeing. See, the flag is kind of flapping in the wind there.
8
And
a
it's
las
8.
3.
However, the Mexicans are shooting upwind, so
Ya está a la altura.
they're not following the direction of the flag. They're kind of shooting into the wind and still hitting upwind. So, I mean, it can't be the wind affecting them, so it's got to be a little bit of a different wind situation on the line versus downrange.
Meanwhile, on target 2, the Russian team continues to be solid. Ina Stepanova with a 9. Now Timofeyeva, who shot a 6 with her last shot, comes back with a 9.
It's a very good recovery from your 6. Just shows mental toughness from the archer.
So the 11th ranked archer in the world, Ksenia Perova,
The 10 points.
in the center ring, 10 more points, and the Russians grow that lead to 7 points after the first 3 ends, and have a rather commanding lead as we get set for the 4th and final end here in the women's gold medal match in the recurve competition on a toasty Sunday afternoon in Ogden, Utah. The Russians staying loose, comfortable, in control right now, leading at 154 to 147. They took a 4-point lead after the first end, maintained that lead midway through the match, and then built on it in the third end, increasing the lead by 3, and they are up by 7 as we head down the stretch.
One more end to go, 6 arrows per team to determine who walks away with gold and who walks away with silver.
And who picks up the 40 points that are out there for the team that wins the gold medal in team competition. And so the cheers go up for the crowds from the grandstand here at Lindquist Field. Seldom in this ballpark will you hear Russians chanting.
Unless it's a World Cup running here, which is the 3rd year in a row. So, I mean, it's happened before.
The high fives on the Russian side, and the Mexicans focused. And quite honestly, cannot afford to miss on a single shot here in the 4th end if they hope to have any chance at all.
That's right, and Mexico is going to have to start putting down the pressure on Russia. I'm guessing all arrows in the gold would do that against Russia in these conditions. That's an 8 just out. About 2 millimeters out of the 9 ring to be exact.
It's kind of been the story of the day for the Mexican team, hasn't it?
Yeah, just they just need a little bit fatter arrows, and things will be a little bit more comfortable for them. And I just heard the announcer say 4 points. Very uncharacteristic, because that looked like a better shot than that.
You can see it right there at the bottom right of the screen.
Yes.
10 points.
So Alejandra Valencia trying to bail out her teammates, but right now the wheel's coming off for Mexico. That 4. Only adding to the woes for the Mexican team.
9 points.
So Russia apparently well on its way to picking up the gold medal here at stage 3.
That's an 8 just out. I put an asterisk beside it just in case, but from what I could see on our screens, it looked like about a millimeter out.
Of course, Ksenia and the rest of her Russian teammates have a little bit of a cushion to play with right now. There's a 9. So they have an 11-point lead with 3 arrows left to shoot.
Muy bien.
9 points.
Su 9-5 a las 7. Venga, Mariana, fuerte. Fuerte y grande. Venga, bien alineada. Segura, firme.
9 points, much better than her 4, so she came back from that first shot and finished strong for Team Mexico.
The 18-year-old of Itia and Alejandra Valencia.
Eight points, so 195 points unofficially for the total score for Team Mexico. Team Russia can clinch it here with 2 8s. There's the first 8. One more will do it.
Stepanova, by the way, finishing 6th in the World Cup finals last fall in Istanbul. So an excellent archer in her own right. Timofeyeva.
Another 8, and they've clinched the gold medal with 1 arrow left. Russia doesn't even need to shoot this final arrow. This is just for glory.
Ksenia says, I've flown 5,000 miles. Why not? I'll take the shot. And there it is. It's in the books. It is all over. A convincing victory for Team Russia, 204 to 195, as they jumped on top early and never let up. Never allowed the Mexican team to get back into this match. And Russia picks up its first gold medal of the day. Perhaps, we shall see. They'll have other opportunities. Silver medal for the team from Mexico. And Russia is able to avenge last fall's loss in the bronze medal match in Shanghai. That's where Mexico won 216 to 207. But today, Russia turns the tables, and it's Russia winning convincingly in this match by the final score of 204 to 195. So a 9-point win for Team Russia. And they will take home the gold, Mexico the silver, and the USA, of course, in case you're just joining us here on Archery.tv, got the bronze medal as they got the day started with a 3-point win over, or excuse me, a 205-204 victory over Germany in a much, much closer match.